waiting for,
Did you find out
we're
about
good?
the hearing?
Good? Okay.
Meeting comes to
The New
order.
Jersey Public's Meeting Law was enacted to ensure the right of the public to have advance notice of and to attend the meeting of public bodies at which any business affecting their interest is discussed or acted upon. In accordance with this provision of this act, the Belvidere Board of Education has caused notice of this meeting to be published by having the date, time, and place thereof posted with the Star Ledger and the Express Times, and submitted to the town clerk of the town of Belvidere on January 15th, 2025. The meeting will be live streamed at www.belvideresd.org. Flag salute, please. The mission of the Belvidere School District is to celebrate our past and empower our future, while focusing on the four cornerstones of our district: tradition, excellence, academics, and community. We strive to build confidence and promote collaboration. We encourage an equal partnership with our students and staff as well as its community members. We empower everyone to develop the best version of themselves. The Belvidere School District is committed to shaping students into global citizens who take initiative for their success and contribute to the continued excellence of the district. Our students are leaders in the decision-making process of their education and will be prepared to excel in a 21st century society. Roll call, please.
Mr. Blum? Here. Mrs. Sorbonne?
Here.
Dr. Zuppeth?
Here.
Mrs. Duckworth?
Here.
Mr. Scott?
Here.
Ms. Steffen?
Here.
Ms. Walton?
Here.
Mrs. Wenner?
Here.
Ms. White?
Here.
Mr. Ciccarelli?
Here.
Mrs. Gardella?
Here.
Mrs. Robotham?
Here.
We're going to start with the top 10 presentation. I'm just going to use the microphone. So for those top 10 students, when I call your name, if you could just come on over and stand in the center and be recognized. So just very quickly, a week ago, Tuesday, last Tuesday, we had our what's become the second annual Belvidere Top 10 dinner. We are the only school in the county that's still doing the Top 10 dinner. So Mr. Carabinas, Ms. Hesketh put on an excellent show. Dr. McKinney was there, as well as Mrs. Duckworth and Mrs. Steffen. Mrs. Black was there too. We had a great evening. It was great to honor and celebrate our top 10 students. Mr. Carabinas read the following about each student, and rather than truncate it, I figured it would be nice to hear what all of our kids are up to. So without further ado, we're going to start with Samantha Hickey. So come on over, Sam. Okay. Samantha is the valedictorian of the class of 2025. She is a standout student athlete. She is a member of the National Spanish and Math Honor Societies, executive treasurer of the student government, and captain of the varsity softball team. She has completed 8 AP and 11 honors courses and has earned multiple scholarships and academic awards. Samantha was also recognized as the NJSIA Scholar Athlete and Coastal Carolina Presidential Scholar. She credits Coach K for teaching her confidence and resilience, preparing to face her challenges with determination. Samantha will attend Coastal Carolina University, majoring in biology. Congratulations, Sam. Next up is Alexander Vandevegate. Alexander is the salutatorian of the class of 2025. Alex is a leader in the arts and academics. He serves as president of the Spanish National Honor Society and Drama Club. He's the drum major of the marching band and vocal director for the Spring Musical. He is a Freddie Award performer, 5-time Morris Area Honor Choir member, Eagle Scout, and NJ Scholars Program finalist. Alexander thanks Mrs. Poirier and Mr. Conti for inspiring his passion for music and performance. He will attend Sussex Community College, where he will major in engineering. Congratulations, Alex. Okay. Next up is Isamar Natal. Isamar is the senior class president. She has served in student government since freshman year and leads 3 honor societies. She's completed 8 AP courses and was the Skyland Conference Scholar Athlete and JV softball captain. She's actively involved with clubs like SAD and SAFE. She mentors younger students and volunteers in the community. She credits Ms. Gayton for fostering an inclusive classroom environment that made a lasting impact. Ms. Samar will attend Lehigh University, where she will major in mechanical engineering. Congratulations, Ms. Samar. Annalena Jankowski. Annalena is a dual sport varsity captain, a member of 3 honor societies, and an AP scholar. She's taken 6 AP classes, participated in over 15 extracurriculars, and earned awards such as the Sally Uberoth and Northwest Scholar Athlete Awards. A skilled flutist and a committed community volunteer, she credits Ms. Geisinger and Mr. Ware for nurturing her love of science and chemistry. She plans to major in chemical engineering at North Carolina State University. Go Wolfpack. Congratulations. Okay, Madison Danker. Madison is the class vice president of the math club, and a member of 3 honor societies. She's completed 7 AP and 10 honors courses while earning over 130 hours of community service. Madison is captain of both the varsity softball and field hockey teams, earning all conference honors in each. She credits Coach K for teaching her lessons in leadership and positivity that will last a lifetime. Madison will attend Moravian University to major in biology on a pre-medicine track and minor in psychology. Congratulations, Madison. Next up is Antonios Nikolopoulos. Antonios is a 3-sport varsity captain, environmental club president, and an Eagle Scout with over 570 hours of community service. He's taken 8 AP and 10 college credit classes, achieving a 4.35 weighted GPA. A first-team all-conference athlete in soccer and wrestling, he also is also a class officer and a student government leader. Antonio credits Mrs. Poyer for pushing him academically, even if it meant enduring tough vocabulary units. He will first fulfill his civic duty in Greece, then study electrical engineering and software development. Congratulations, Antonio, and good luck. Shane Redden. Shane Redden is a 4-year varsity ice hockey player and an all-star athlete with 82 career points competing across 3 different school teams. He's completed 8 AP courses, is the National Honor Society historian, and is active in the Leo Club, Safe Club, and community events. Known for his leadership and school spirit, Shane was also voted best dressed by his peers. Shane will serve in the Singapore Armed Forces before pursuing further education and professional opportunities. Congratulations, Shane. Madeline Durr cannot be with us tonight. She is at the Phillipsburg Sports Awards ceremony, but I will read her bio. Maddie Durr is a 5-sport varsity athlete and a record-setting swimmer. She's the captain of the BHS swim team. She's a YMCA state meet qualifier and holds records in the 100 freestyle, 100 backstroke, and 400 relays. A member of student government Leo Club, she earned the DAR Good Citizen Award and has been in high honor roll all 4 years. She also credits Coach K for shaping her mindset as a coachable and adaptable student-athlete. Maddie will attend Rutgers University, New Brunswick to study nursing, supported by a 4-year Army ROTC scholarship. Congratulations, Madeline. Ava Fiore. Ava is a 3-sport varsity athlete, recognized for 400 career saves as a soccer goalkeeper and a 2025 bowling state championship. She's completed 7 AP classes, earned NJ Stars recognition, and has been active in Leo Club, Safe Club, and student government. Ava credits her 2nd grade teacher, Mrs. Marsh, for sparking her passion for marine biology and sharks. Ava will attend Warren County Community College, majoring in general science with the goal of becoming an
ichthyologist.
And what is that?
It's a scientist that studies fish.
There you go. Congratulations, Ava. I will say that Mr. Karabinas was able to say ichthyologist, but I wasn't brave enough to risk it. And finally, for the top 10, we have Sydney Johnson. Sydney has served in multiple leadership roles, including student government treasurer and math club. He's a member of 2 honor societies, completed over hours of community service, contributed to events like Veterans Day and Community Window Painting. Consistent honor roll student, she credits Mrs. Damchek for encouraging her academic and extracurricular growth. Sydney will attend East Stroudsburg University, majoring in hotel, restaurant, and tourism management. Back in time. We also have our scholar athletes, and I know I mentioned some of them, but I do want to just recognize them again formally. Samantha Hickey was our NJSIA scholar athlete. Isamar and Antonios were our Skyland Conference scholar athletes. And then finally, we have Annalena Jankowski and James Krause were our Arnold Warren specialists. And just worth mentioning, Mr. Krause, we attended ESU. Do you have ESU shirt on? Oh, okay. In black, I thought maybe that was it. So I just want to say thank you for the top 10 and our scholar athlete part of that. You guys have been outstanding students. You've been exceptional community members here at Belvidere. We will miss you greatly. Congratulations. Oh, yeah, can we get a quick picture? The top 10 with the board? They didn't leave already?
Yeah.
Yep. And it's got, well, yeah, James, you too. Scholar athletes, just yep.
Yes. That way. All behind them. Yeah.
We're going to do a picture with the board.
We already got our pictures.
What's up?
We must already did this.
Well, you know.
Good, good job. Nice.
You'll need clap. I'll swing around and sit next to you.
What's up?
James.
Yeah, yeah, that's fine. Yeah.
You come too, honey. Yep, come on.
Yeah, come on, James.
Get over here, James.
Come on, draw a picture.
Aw, very nice. Good?
Thank you. Thank you, guys.
Good job, guys.
Oh. Well done.
And now it's time for the.
Okay, as they're making their exit, Mrs. Koch is here to give a recap of the trip to Greece. I don't know if any students joined her tonight, but if not, Mrs. Koch will just give a quick rundown.
Actually, a lot of them are going to their softball banquet.
Oh, okay.
So we have that. Here we go. Do I need this? Wow. Can they hear me? Yeah. Okay, so I'm just going to give a little recap of our Greece trip and explain a few things so you all know what's going on. That first picture with all the backpacks, EF gives us backpacks when we're going to travel with them. So that was this year's. We had like a ton. Obviously, we had 48 backpacks lined up. It was really cool to see. So we traveled overnight. We landed in Turkey first, and I was very excited that we were going to actually land in Turkey because the airport alone is phenomenal. I got stuck there one time and had to spend a lot of time in the airport. Kind of a crazy story. But anyway, so I was real excited for our students to be able to see it, and when we got in there, they all were like, wow, this is amazing. Anyway, while we're waiting for this, I will go over a question that was brought up at the last meeting, actually. The last meeting, a conversation came up in the public comments about who pays for the chaperones to go on that trip. And I actually did some numbers. EF pays for we get one chaperone per 6 students to go. That covers the chaperone's airfare, their hotel, their breakfast, and their dinner. Anything else that they need, they cover or they supplement. So travel insurance, if they don't want to share a room. This year we had a private tour, but last year we had a tour, our group was smaller, so we were with some other schools. We had the option of either sharing a room with a chaperone from another school that we don't know, or paying for our own private room. So we all usually pay for our own private rooms. Not that it's like a special thing, it's just a single room. Anyway, so it is not a vacation either. Anyone that thinks that taking students to Europe is a vacation is sorely mistaken. We start usually at 7 o'clock in the morning. We are eating breakfast and loading on a bus. We have our parent traveler with us this year. She can attest. We go all day long until the evening, till bed check at 10 o'clock at night. And it's a constant. Every single day this year, we switched hotels till the last 3 days we stayed in one spot. But other than that, every single night or every single morning, we packed up everything and packed it on a bus and did our touring during the day, unpacked the bus, put everybody in rooms, and do that again at nighttime. It's not a vacation. There's not time to sit on the beach or go swimming in a pool or do anything like that. And we take our job as being responsible for students very seriously. So we spend all of our time in contact time with students. Even when they have free time, we are not far from their free time area, and we make sure that we're looking for them, and we'll say, okay, who have we seen, So we really keep track of what's happening. I did run some numbers of what has been spent over the past few years, except I left my glasses over there, and I can't see. But between Mr. Karuba, Dr. McKinney, and myself, I am over about $4,000. Dr. McKinney is at about $7,000. Mr. Karuba is over $2,000. So it's an expense. It's not a cheap thing. And as far as the rumor that went and said that the school pays for us, that is not true either. We volunteer our time for this. We don't get paid by the school. We don't submit anything that says, hey, I covered this trip. You need to reimburse me or anything. It's truly a program that you have to enjoy. And one of the things, I'll talk about it in a minute, but to see our students go on a trip, the kids that maybe can't even sit in a classroom, and they go on a trip like this, and they're amazed the whole time and interacting the entire time and seeing things from a whole new way is something that you can't get in the classroom. And it's just such an important thing that we offer, and such a great program that we offer. I hate for anyone to try and take away the integrity of that program. Our students get so much out of it, besides the fact of just managing themselves every day and learning to get through an airport and how to get on and off the bus and how to keep moving and how to get along with other people that they might not know. A lot of these kids go away, and I've had some say, I don't know anybody on this trip, I'm not gonna have anyone to talk to, or we had some younger students that went this year that were really nervous. They were like, none of my friends are gonna be there, and they come back with so many new friends. And every year this happens, where they're like, oh, I never would have talked to that person before, but now we got thrown together on the bus, and here we are, and they get to see each other in a different light. So that growth there, you actually see it over a week of time, and we comment on it. We're like, wow, look at so and so, look at that person, look at how good they're doing. This is amazing. So it's really a very rewarding thing that we get to see. Okay, I'm going to talk about trip. So before we leave, we prep them. This year we came in here. We did a lot of activities where they have to like play some games and do things, and then we go over safety, and it's just drilled into them. We load the bus. This year we left during the daytime. Usually we leave in the evening. So we flew during the day into what would have been like the middle of the night, our time. We landed in Turkey, and we started touring. So we were probably up for I don't even know how many hours. A lot of people didn't sleep on the plane because we left during the day. And we landed in Turkey. We flew to Greece then. It was about an hour flight or less. And from there, we went to Cape Sunion. And we got to see the Temple of Poseidon, which was really, really cool. We had a guide that talked us through and took us all around. And there's pictures of it, but you're not seeing them right now. Anyway, so that was our first night. From there, we had lunch, and then we went to our first hotel. We landed during the Easter holiday. If you know anything about the Greek Orthodox faith, it was really, really cool for our students to get to experience that. Usually the Christian or the like Catholic Easter and the Orthodox Easter don't coincide, but this year they were at the same time. So for Good Friday, after we had dinner, we got to go out into the town, and they had this whole processional. We thought it was going to be like a short thing. We were standing there more than an hour while in the church everything was happening. They were praying and stuff, and then finally they march out this giant casket that supposedly has Jesus in it, and they do a funeral procession throughout the town. And people are all holding candles, and it's very, very, like, just a neat thing to experience. The next night, or the next day, we went to, what was our second? There's Temple of Poseidon. Annalena took a lot of these pictures. She has a really great view for the camera. So this was the Friday night tradition. This is our tour guide, Steve. He's a whole nother story. But we got to see some cool stuff. Go ahead. The next day we got to see the Corinth Canal. It was that blue, really cool. And then we went to see this theater. When they talk about theater, they don't just mean theater for actors, they also mean theater for healing. And this theater in particular was one that was used for healing. The ancient Greeks really believed that you had to heal from the inside out, not just from the outside. So it was cool. There are dogs, stray dogs, or not even strays. I think they're people's dogs that just visit places. Dogs, cats, everything, everywhere that we went. So anyway, go ahead. There's just some more pictures. Then we went to the archaeological site of Mykonos, and it had been underground, like I don't even know how many feet underground, and they excavated it. But I want to point out here, anybody that is a movie fan, you see Lionsgate pictures. That's the Lionsgate. The heads are gone, but that's the true Lionsgate. It's kind of a really cool thing. Go ahead. Okay, so that evening, then we actually got to experience the Orthodox Easter. And what happens is, it is almost like 4th of July and New Year's Eve put together. We went into the town to this cathedral, and there were people everywhere dressed up, like in their best clothes. Everyone was on the street with candles. And at midnight, all around Greece, they shoot off fireworks, and they say, "He is risen," and the holy person, priests, they come out of the church, and everybody is like celebrating and hugging and kissing and everything, and so we got to experience that. The other interesting thing was that they do Easter decorations like we do Christmas decorations. So there's all kinds of, on the light poles, everything, Easter eggs and all kinds of stuff, so that was really neat. Okay, the students got to experience a pottery. Mycenaean pottery is like the oldest one of the oldest known potteries. If you take an art praxis exam, it's like one of the first things on the exam. I remember it from that. Our students got to experience that and work in an old workshop. They actually got to bring home their own pieces of pottery. If it made it home, I don't know. Some of them did, some of them didn't. I know on the back of Parker's there it says, "I love Greece." It was really cute. Anyway, okay. Then we went to Olympia, which is the grounds of the first Olympics. This is the gate that they actually would walk through, and in the back there is the field where all the Olympians would compete. We learned a lot about the Olympics, that you had to be an Olympian. You couldn't just be a strong person or a good athlete. You also had to be smart, and you had to be able to work in society and know literature and all kinds of things. So very interesting. These are some pictures when we went to Delphi next. We stayed in a very old hotel, actually, that didn't have a working elevator, and it was a crazy maze. But from our balconies, so you can see a balcony here, you can look down over into over 1 million olive trees. This was that's the largest, I think I just did that. That's the largest olive grove, I guess, in Greece. But if you look here, all the way through, you also see the ocean. I don't think there was anywhere that we went really that we couldn't see some type of water. It was very, very cool. So this is kind of the evening. That doesn't matter. You're fine. Then we went to the Oracle of Delphi. All the way at the top of the Oracle is this stadium where they would play some kind of games, I don't know what, but that was a neat experience as well. This is from the top. There's a theater on the way up, and if you could see it down here, there's an aqueduct that runs all the way through, and the Greeks are who invented the aqueduct, and it was still running. Good. We had a Greek evening. We got to break plates. Everybody got plates to break. Mason Chamberlain got elected to clean up the plates. He thought he was getting something else, but he didn't. Some of our students he thought he got some kind of cool thing, but he got elected to sweep up the plates. Some of our students got to participate in actual Greek dancing, and I also got to do that. I don't know how, but anyway, they dressed us up, and they took us out and dressed us up, and then we came back all dressed. There's some videos of that around. This is Athens. We went back to Athens. To be honest, Athens was a little dirty. Not my favorite place. But anyway, the Acropolis, like how could you go to Greece and not see the Acropolis? So we got to climb up there and see the Acropolis. And what's really amazing is when you are up here, all this stuff in the background, and you can see it everywhere. It looks like rubble. It's actually buildings. It's just buildings everywhere. And then all of a sudden there is something like this. So anyway. We also got to have some good food, finally. Mr. Karuba, unfortunately, was gone by then because this was our like last day there, well, one of our last days. And he went to the Acropolis with us and then left in the morning. But you can see there's excavation going on here. That's the Acropolis Museum. And this is a pomegranate growing on a tree, which is really cool. So it had just started. So good. I had your meal down there, too. Then we did an island cruise. Very interesting. It was neat because, like you see, there's meat hanging here and stuff. Our kids don't see that very often. So some cool stuff, beautiful water. Again, cats everywhere. You'll see that in a second. I have a little page of them. Good. Here's a fish market. This is in the middle of like a walkway. This cat is just sitting on that store's stuff. We also did an olive oil tasting. That's in there. One of our lunches, Mason Chamberlain ended up playing soccer with these little kids. It was really cute. So we took some pictures. Good. This is just some miscellaneous things so you can see, but they still have these postal boxes everywhere, which I thought was really interesting. All different places where you can send mail, and it's the Hellenic Post. So I thought that was interesting. They got to play Manhunt one night. We were at a hotel that had like groves and everything, and so they got to go out and run around, and we played cards, so that was good. Here's just some other photos that we thought were interesting. If you could see this up close, they're actually packages of cigarettes, which is kind of appalling, but all of the packages say this could, like, they all have these different kinds of warnings. They have rotten teeth on them. They have all kinds of things to warn people about the dangers of smoking. So I always think that that's really interesting. And yeah, so anyway, here's dogs. There's the kids watching Mason while he is playing soccer. Really interesting, though, to see. And that's it. So there we go.
Brings it right back to me. Thanks, Mrs. Koch, for taking time to do all that. Had an opportunity to obviously preview that this afternoon. Great pictures. It's a great time. And one thing I think I said at the last meeting, if I didn't, our kids are, no matter where we are in the world, they're just tremendous. They know how to behave. They know how to act appropriately. And I was really proud of them. So great job. And next year's trip, for those interested, is Brussels, Amsterdam, Paris, and London. So it sounds like a good one. So thank you again. Just to go over a few more things, obviously we talked about the top 10 in the dinner that was last week. We also had last Thursday, prior to the prom, the sports awards ceremony. Mr. Karabinas took a different approach to it this year. Personally, I thought it was excellent, being able to just recognize all the kids in the gym with some food as they're all getting ready to head out for the prom. So well done, and thanks to Mrs. Hesketh and Mrs. Collum for their work on those projects. I went to the prom also on Thursday night. I was figured since it's likely my last one to just go, and it is just great seeing our kids dressed up and at an event like that. And it was a beautiful night, and if you've never been to the Stroudsmoor, it's a beautiful place. Food was fantastic, and I think it's just one of those moments. Mrs. Black and I were watching all the students come in, and just I think it kind of, as you go through the year of an educator, when you get to that June point and you see our kids and you see them in such a setting, it's great. Mr. Hoyt did a fantastic job of putting that together. It's no easy feat, so thank you, Mr. Hoyt, and the chaperones that were there that we all had a great time. So kudos. Some of the other fun things from this week. The other day was the pre-K graduation ceremony, which was just a lot of fun. I say it all the time. I said to Mrs. Leiden, I think afterwards, I don't know how you guys can do it with so many little kids, and they did a great job. They started out with the students that were staying in for one more year, the 3-year-olds, and then they went to the kids that were moving up to kindergarten. Everybody was recognized, and everybody won a special award. So it was just a really, really nice event. The one thing, I was sitting in the back, I couldn't hear Mrs. Crisafoli too well, so I said to her, I couldn't hear her. She's like, I'm so emotional, it's hard to talk loud at that moment. So it was just a great event, really, really nice. And it was a lot of parents there. It was just great to see. Reminder, tomorrow at 5:30 is our 8th grade graduation in the auditorium here at Belvidere High School. Looks like another warm night to be in the auditorium, but we'll have a great time. And then Friday at 1 o'clock is our high school graduation out on the sports complex on the football field. And again, the weather looks really good, so hopefully we don't get one of them pop-up thunderstorms. But looking forward to those events. A couple other things to mention. Number one, she's not here tonight, but I want to thank Andy Averico for jumping in and sitting on the board this year. She didn't start off in that position, but she did a great job. I thought she always did an excellent job of filling us in as to what was going on from the students' point of view. Andy's been an outstanding student here for 4 years, and she'll be greatly missed. So thank you to Andy. I would also like to mention that I don't think we mentioned this publicly, but we did get the playground grant for about $90,000. So we're already hard at work at getting that together. So hopefully when we start the year in September, that will be all taken care of. So that's a big, exciting moment. And then the last thing I think is worth mentioning, I'm not going to say who the students are because Mr. Karabinas will be meeting with them tomorrow, but we had 14 students this year with perfect attendance as we have 2 days of school left. We have 4 in the elementary school and 10 at the high school. So compared to 1 district-wide last year, I think that's a tremendous improvement. And I will mention one of the students only because he has had perfect attendance for 2 years. So our board president's son, Mr. Andrew Duckworth, he's had perfect attendance for 2 straight years. So congratulations to Andrew and to the other students who Mr. Karabinas will recognize tomorrow. I think that's just a great thing for our students and just shows, some of the great things that happen around here. That is my report.
Any correspondence? No? Okay, so can I have a motion to go into executive session for personnel and HIB?
Motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any noes? Any abstentions? Okay, so any discussion held by the board which need not remain confidential will be made public as soon as practicable. Minutes of the executive session will not be disclosed until the need for confidentiality no longer exists. The board will reconvene in public session at the conclusion of the closed session in approximately 30 minutes? Approximately 30 minutes. You staying here? Okay.
I want to participate.
Gonna be today.
Okay, thank you very much for your patience as we finished up. We are now on to public participation. It's limited to 5 minutes per person for a total of 30 minutes, and this public participation is on agenda items only. Do we have any public participation?
Hi, Victoria Davenport. So the Title IX coordinator, it would be preferred if it was a woman, only because Title IX is sexual harassment. So it'd be better for a woman to go to another woman about something that happened to her. Currently, it is set as, we'll go with principal. The only problem I have is his gender, quite honestly.
I don't think it is.
Am I not loud enough?
That's better.
There you go.
Okay. So the Title IX coordinator, currently it's set as being a man. Honestly, it would be better as a female because no female who has been through any sort of sexual trauma is going to go to a man. So it would be preferred if it was a female. And for agenda number 17, it's a assessment. Can we get an outside source on that? Or have like other teachers assess other teachers instead of self-assessments?
So that's a self-assessment that's provided by the state that we use their
so
form.
the state, okay,
It's a state form that every district uses. It's the same form that we all fill out.
okay.
Any other public participation on agenda items?
Hi, I'm Sandy Gonda, White Township. I just want to first thank the board. I know you guys have been doing so much to help all of us in the school, and it hasn't gone unnoticed, and thank you. I guess this is, I'm not sure if this agenda item, I was looking at the appointees, and I noticed the Dean of Students' name wasn't on here. I'm not sure if I need to say a name, or if I can, but I was hoping that she was still going to be in charge of, and I don't know how to say this, but I think she brought a lot of consistency to the school. I feel like if we don't have her in that role, we might be taking 2 steps back. I know the kids, they're respecting her. It's Miss Black. I don't know if I need to say her name, but I didn't see her role on here. I know the kids are a little fearful of her, I've heard. She is no nonsense. I think she's done away with a lot of the shenanigans that's been going on in the school. She, makes the kids accountable for their actions. They tell me, the few that I've talked to, that they're afraid of her, but yet they respect her and they like her. And I think it's because she's consistent. She does what she says she's going to do across the board. She doesn't play favorites, and she really cares about all the kids. And I just feel like she has done so much this past year just to hold the kids accountable. I think she's put consistency in place with the teachers. I think the teachers respect her. So I'm not sure, somebody may be doing that role. She may not, maybe she's retiring, maybe she doesn't want it. But when I saw that, I was like, oh, I really hope, because I think she did so much in the 1 year. I think she could do a lot more if she were, is still in that role. But thank you.
Thank you.
Hello, my name is Katie Galeen, and I have comments for Article 7 with the yearbook advisor, who will be making $2,975. The last time this teacher was put in charge of a yearbook, there were penises in the yearbook. Parents have come to multiple meetings now complaining about inappropriate behavior, lack of academia happening in her classroom, and the embarrassment she brought to this school with that last yearbook in the class of 2022 to 2023. This teacher should have been banned from running a yearbook ever again and disciplined for her conduct. Again, it's very clear that our superintendent, what he thinks of our school and our students, which is obviously nothing. If the board approves with the recommendation, which you are going to, it will further prove the lack of integrity and low regard for our students and staff. It's worth noting that the board president has a personal relationship with this teacher. That's a conflict of interest, and she should be exempt from voting on this recommendation or any other recommendations involving this teacher. I hope everyone remembers how our superintendent thought dick drawings were so appropriate for the school yearbook that he made this recommendation. Have a nice day.
Should I call the police now or later? Any other public participation
On agenda.
on agenda items? No, thank you very much. That closes public participation for this section. Okay. We are looking at agenda items for reorganization. That will be agenda items 1 through 9. And there's nothing. Okay, no additions on that section. So can I have a motion for agenda items 1 through 9?
Motion.
Second.
And is that,
Something with-
we don't, do we need a roll call?
Wait, can
It's
I
not on.
just ask a quick question?
Go.
Is Centenary a new dual credit school? Because I know we've typically done Warren County. Is Centenary new?
It's not new. It's not one that we consistently use, but we like to put it on there in case the class is offered. I think it's been probably maybe 2 years or so since we offered it. We were working with their social media department for a social media class, but we just want to have it there in case kids sign up enough for it and we can re-bring it back. We don't want to wait too
Okay,
long.
yeah.
But it's been a few years. It's not as robust as the Warren County community relationship.
And just real quick, can you just quickly run through what classes are offered through the credit, through the college credit?
I
Like
have
just-
a list.
Oh,
I was going to say, I don't.
I do.
I can
Want me
give,
to read it?
please, I can give you probably about half of them, but.
Okay, it's AP Psychology, AP Statistics, Introduction to Business, Forensic Science, AP US History 2, College Algebra, AP English, Language, and Comp. There's 2 of those.
Yep.
Spanish Honors 3, Spanish Honors 4, AP Spanish Language, AP Biology, AP Calculus, AB, Honors Biology, Honors Pre-Calculus, and Honors Chemistry.
So that's great. And if it's just one child, is that fine? Like, is there a participation minimum?
The way our agreement reads with them is, it goes more in the line of we could, any students in one of those classes can do dual credit. They just have to go through the process of doing it through the paperwork. So most of those classes, we usually have way more than one student, so.
Okay.
Like that. It's more class dependent, and some of those classes have a lot of students in them. So
Is
not
it-
everybody takes advantage of the dual
Is it
credit.
at the school or do they do it online?
It's just in the regular class.
It
It's
is.
part of the
Oh,
regular
it's in our class. It's
It's
just
in our class,
okay,
yep,
got it,
part of the
yeah,
regular
okay,
class.
Okay. Yeah, I just think it's great because I know we do a really good job of the dual credits.
Can I just ask for clarification? AP classes aren't dual
No.
enrolled? Because that was on
Yeah,
the
yeah.
list that you just read, because the
Well,
question was.
But they
what
can be,
classes?
though. They can be.
are.
They can be.
So this program,
Yeah.
according to my notes from our curriculum meeting
Yeah.
in April, the teacher, there is a specific requirement that the instructor of the class has to have and the course curriculum has to have to meet the role of credits for Warren County Community College. And there's only certain teachers at Belvidere and classes qualify for that.
AP and dual are two different things? And
Yes.
it would be double dipping on the same class.
Well, the
Dr.
Warren-
McKinney, Dr. McKinney wants to jump in. I can
Yeah.
see it. Yeah.
Great. So there's an actual, I can send you this if you want.
because it has the BHS course and then the Warren County Community College course and then the credits. Sent it to me. Mail it out after the meeting. 16 classes. Class here. High school, state,
That's a lot,
and they are
I think.
college credits.
You know, I was happy to see centenary because I didn't remember that one, so.
Any other questions? Nope. Okay, so it'll be on roll call, please.
Mr. Blum? Mrs. Serbone? Dr. Zuppeth?
Yes.
Mrs. Duckworth?
Yes.
Mr. Scott?
Yes.
Ms. Steffen?
Yes.
Miss Walton?
Yes.
Mrs. Wenner?
Yes.
Ms. White?
Yes.
Mr. Ciccarelli?
Yes.
Mrs. Gardella?
Yes.
Mrs. Robotham?
Yes. Okay, so before we go on to our regular agenda items, we'll do committee minutes from our past committee meetings. Who wants to start?
I can start.
Okay, Carolyn, you're up.
All right, I have two. Came really prepared today. I'm excited that we're doing that. All right, so for the curriculum meeting that we had on May 28th, we received an update regarding the state testing and the students testing for the makeup schedule. All of the testing had to be completed by May 30th. This summer, the teachers will be reviewing our curriculum to ensure we're compliant with QSAC. So that'll be the ELA, tech media, and performing arts, and that'll all take place in June. During the next meeting, we will be reviewing the health of our state required policies and review and update our outstanding AI policy. We also are reviewing attendance trends. So we're taking a lot of time and looking at these trends year over year from starting in 2019, which is when 3rd Street closed and everybody moved to Oxford Street. And we're going to look at these numbers kind of in a little bit of a different way. We're gonna look at it like pre-K through 5, K through 5, 5 through 8, and then high school, who buses, who walks, and really try to figure out where the trends are if we can do that, and possibly then target our incentives a little bit more to where we're seeing some of that absentee on the rise or and we are also, in our next committee meeting, we requested a more detailed plan for the art program for kids. For the special ed ad hoc committee, we met and reviewed feedback that Mr. Karuba had with some additional parents. The committee agreed to review and consider a possible update to policy for how IEPs are communicated and reviewed. We also will be reviewing and considering an update for and a more formal communication plan, more formal and visible. We are also asking that the Board of Ed has a monthly readout from the child study team at our meetings. And in this monthly readout, we're just looking for, updates similar to we get like from the nurse. So sub coverage, change in programs, any issues with aides, any kind of changes. And then we're also meeting at the end of June to review the parent survey draft and the possible agenda for the parent advisory group, which we're hoping to tentatively start in July. Also, they met a group of folks from school, I can't remember who all met, but they went to Hackettstown to view the life skills room. So far they looked at Hackettstown and Warren Hills. They really liked Hackettstown. I know they were planning on going to Phillipsburg, which they probably have already.
They did, yeah.
Yeah.
They went to Phillipsburg last Thursday and liked Phillipsburg
Like,
even better.
Yeah. So everyone they go, they like a little bit better. But the goal is to have the plan out in the middle of July with a goal of a September, October completion. Any questions?
I just want to add to that because I know you'll bring it up in continuing business. So we met Ms. Prislak, I don't know, she was floating around before, Ms. Prislak and Ms. Wardell. Mr. Kennedy, I went to one of them, and then the other three went to all three. We're going to meet tomorrow afternoon, and we're going to basically share all the ideas that came out of the 3 different schools. Obviously, 3 different schools have 3 very, very different programs, but some great ideas. I think one of the biggest benefits was just the communication with other teachers that are teaching those life skill programs. So it was great to see. So hopefully by the end of tomorrow, we kind of have a good vision as to where we want to go as far as what the room is going to actually look like. They probably like Hackettstown the best because it's more in line with what we want to do. Phillipsburg obviously is still a brand new building, so everything is state of the art and no expense is spared. But they did a great job going out and doing all that. So I'm looking forward to our meeting tomorrow just to see where we're at.
So on that, the 3 schools you visited are obviously much larger districts. Was that factored in how you looked at that? Because obviously we don't have the budget that P-Burg does.
Yeah.
How we could accomplish what they've done, but on a more cost-effective basis.
Absolutely. And I think one of the keys was understanding that, and I'll use Warren Hills as the example, that they had probably 7 different teachers over 3 classrooms, where we know basically we're going to have 3 teachers sharing that one classroom. So they kept that all in mind. And one of the questions they were asking was, okay, so if so-and-so is using the stove, who's watching that person? Like that kind of. So it was, a lot of it was the practical aesthetic piece of it, but a lot of it was practical use of it too. And I think that's where, even though Hackettstown is larger than us, I think it was more in line with what we're looking to do, because they're obviously significantly smaller than both Warren Hills and Phillipsburg.
Any other questions? No? Okay. Tyler, you want to
Sure,
do
I'll
yours?
do the sports, yeah, I have to get. So we had the Personnel Student Activities meeting on May 20th, and it was Chris, Colleen, and myself in attendance. We talked a little bit about the sports celebrations that have since already happened. So we had a 428 Skylands Conference Scholar Athlete, 518 the NJSIAA Scholar Athlete, and 520 the HW, Hunter and Warren, thank you, Scholar Athlete Award. Then, I don't have to run through them, but we went basically from June 3rd to 13th. There's also some, we had the Top 10 Architects Dinner, which was on the 3rd. Then June 5th, All Sports Appreciation Luncheon and Student Appreciation Pizza, which I think was pretty fun. I heard the kids had a good time there. June 6th, Kindergarten Celebration. June 9th, Pre-K Celebration. June 9th, Senior Awards and Athletic Signing. June 12th, 8th grade promotion, as we discussed. June 13th, the BHS promotion graduation. So we also talked a little bit that Mr. Karabinas and I are working together. We're collaborating on putting together a policy that we have in the book so that we have some formal wording and for recognition pieces. So whether it be for absenteeism, as you mentioned, you had the students who have had perfect attendance, just formalizing something so that we have something to reference back in the policies on how we're going to make sure that all these students are recognized, and so that, you know, every student has, whether a certificate or whatever it may be, in addition to the teachers. So just really promoting positive experiences through, you know, giving incentives and hoping that that might help with some of the absenteeism, things of that nature. So we should have that before, I would say, the school year begins in I guess August now, right? It's not even September. Also, Colleen had a great idea where, as we know, many students have to basically have their colleges set by May 30th. And Colleen was saying we should promote and put a little write-up about that student, and then also link it to the college page as well that they're going to. So I thought that was a really great idea, and that's going to be another piece that we're going to, you know, hopefully implement going forward. And I think that's pretty much it. Just really talking about promoting, you know, the kids' social media groups, group photos, you know, things of that nature. And that's really basically what we talked about there, I think, for the most part, right?
Okay, any questions on any of that?
I have a question on, when we did our budget, we talked about that only 5% of our budget goes to student activities, athletics, clubs. Is there a way we can start looking at how else, because we have some great programs here, and they're funded through other sources, so that we have visibility to that? Like, the football team got the T-Mobile grant last year, and, you know, I would hope we all go spend more than 25 cents trying to dunk the field hockey players at the Warren County Fair. I mean, there's a lot done. The drama club was selling snacks in the hallway the other night.
Right.
I think we need to see that as part of how we're looking at things, because one, my concern is if people hear, oh, you're only attributing 5%, they go, well, that's not creating well-rounded students when we are. We have really strong booster clubs. You know, I bought oranges and flowers from FFA. So showing all the ways, not only that, too, to help create awareness.
I agree, yep.
People may not know
Yep.
that there are all these opportunities where they can
Right.
help support to offset.
Yeah,
in a
and we
fun
did talk
way.
a little bit about that, like sending emails, doing some all calls, letters home, just kind of, base little bit too, like how you do did with the elementary, and do these podcast kind of things, and what's new, what's going on this week, and just really being front and center with a lot of what's going on in the school, because I agree, I think people just don't know, and there's a lot of areas that we can really, yeah.
Along those lines, I'm just going to bring, it's not sports related specifically, but I got contacted by a parent about helping to set up a fundraiser specifically to get some newer equipment in the wood shop. The parent said they'd be willing to work with Mr. Lutz on just upgrading what we have in there, understanding the budget constraints that that equipment is obviously expensive. So I just want to throw that out there because I think it's a great idea. It hasn't really come up with necessarily the plan itself yet. I'll share that probably over the summer, but I want to put that out there that we did have one parent who was very interested in helping us out.
We're also supposed to, as a board, approve all fundraisers, which would be one way for everybody to know what's going on. But we don't seem to get any of those anymore.
Right.
Throwing that out there.
Any other questions on any of that? No? Okay. Next,
Okay.
Jackie.
So the Finance Committee has been busy bees. We met on, I think, May 28th. And then we also just met this evening. So the minutes from May 28th meeting was that we received the approval to sell 3rd Street. We still need to work through the selling price based on the public sale of the property and how those bids will be received and reviewed. So working with our legal advisor from that aspect. The playground grant application that was submitted on January 31st, we received approval of that grant on May 17th, and we're being awarded $91,000 for the wheelchair-bound students. And then also a safety grant was approved of $3,500 in addition to the playground grant. So this is wonderful news for us, and I believe our facilities team is already assessing the situation and how they can get that jump started. Then we continue to review, what the future administration model is going to be and how that'll look from a salary standpoint. We've been making several comparisons of like-sized schools, special education needs, and admin models for comparisons. We also have projections for ongoing high costs for substitute teachers. So that was something that was previously discussed last year, just around the costs of what we're spending. And we're just trying to evaluate alternative options and scheduling opportunities to prevent the overlap in these costs based on hours that are worked in a day. And then we do have some concerns with our roof as it's approaching the 15-year warranty the 15-year warranty expiration is approaching and the roof is failing. So we are attempting to submit for a repair or replacement cost for warranty, but we're looking up about $2.1 million or more to replace this roof, and we would have to do it in stages. But it does put a pretty big dent on our budget looking to the future. So we're really looking creatively of how we can support some of these repairs and do it in stages, as I mentioned. Additionally, in follow-up for today's meeting, we're looking at class sizes in the high school just to, again, evaluate our scheduling, based on the courses that we have available. And we'll be looking at the elementary as well. Again, all very focused from a finance budget efficiency standpoint. And then concerns with roof repairs remain as a topic for discussion. Additionally, students who will require a different level of academic services and needs that will be leaving our district. And then we are continuing just to have these serious conversations and looking how to creatively offset the deficit while also working on restructuring our admin model with our superintendent who will be retiring.
Thank you. Any other questions on that? No? All right. So that'll bring us to our regular agenda items. We're looking at personnel items 1 through 15. There's an add-on for 2, 10, and 15A to look at. Can I have a motion for 1 through 15A?
Motion.
Second.
Any questions on any of those items?
No questions, but I would like to have it added into the record that we as a board are requesting a progress report on 7:15 and 8:15 as far as the CST supervisor progress goes, not necessarily her progress, but the progress for the CS team in general of the different things that we've asked them to do. So if we can get a progress report on 7:15, which is about 30 days, and 8:15, which is about 60 days, so we can see the progress. We're all over this. You know, we've established an ad hoc committee for the child study team or for, child study services in general, and we really want to make sure it's going in the right direction.
Any other questions on personnel items? No?
We need a motion to amend the agenda to.
No, we're not amending the agenda. We're just putting it in
As a
it
note.
was a discussion that we had, and I want it in the meeting minutes.
Okay, so then we need a roll call, please.
Mr. Blum? Mrs. Sarbone?
Yes.
Dr. Zeppeth?
Yes.
Mrs. Duckworth?
Yes.
Mr. Scott?
Yes.
Mrs. Steffen?
Yes.
Ms. Walton?
Yes.
Wenner?
Yes.
Ms. White? Mr. Ciccarelli?
Yes.
Mrs. Gardella?
Yes.
Mrs. Robotham?
Yes, however, I just want to note that the allocation of this stipend for number 10 and how it will be distributed across Harmony and Belvidere is still being negotiated.
Okay, so that takes us on to education items 16 through 21 with no additions for tonight. Can I have a motion for 16 through 21?
Motion.
Second.
Are we tabling 25?
That's
We're only
We're
going
not
to
at
21
yet.
Oh, sorry.
Not there yet.
I got a second?
Yes.
Okay. Any questions on items 16 through 21?
Since, on number 20, since the first field trip has already taken place, can we just amend this, that this is an awareness to the board that was approved under the superintendent's authority and that the board's not really approving something that took place a week ago?
I can make that note.
Okay, any other questions on 16 through 21? No? Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Any noes? Any abstentions? Okay. So that brings us on to business items 22 through 38.
38.
Yeah, 38A, there's a add-on.
Table 25.
Somebody has to ask for that.
Let's table 25 as the agreement is not ready.
Okay. So this would be up to 38 with the exception of 25, which has been tabled.
Correct.
Yep, so we're looking at business items 22 through 38A with tabling 25. Can I have a motion?
Motion.
Second.
Any questions on 22 through 38A?
I have a question or a comment, and I'm hoping that Shelley can help us out here. But for number 24, the cost of the shared business service agreement, Shelley and I had a very productive conversation just around some of the finances and discussions that were on the agenda today. And I thought that maybe it would be helpful for the rest of the board just to hear a little bit more about how the shared business services agreement works between Harmony and Belvidere.
I can do that. So the question that Mrs. Rotham had proposed to me was, why is Harmony paying $95,000 for the shared business services, but when you looked at the contract that was on this agenda for myself, that my Harmony portion of my salary was only $43,000. And the reason for that is that Harmony pays a fee. A percentage of that goes to me to perform the duties. A smaller percentage yet goes to two of the people that work in the board office who have taken on some additional roles way back in 2017 to make it so that the shared service was sustainable over the years. So now I think we're entering our 12th year of the agreement. So to make that a little clearer, so from the inception back in 2015, Belvidere receives 35% roughly of that shared fee to go directly to our revenue, basically as a revenue. It's a reimbursement to expenses, but it's basically a revenue. So Belvidere makes money on sharing the business services with Harmony. It's not all paid to me or to anyone else in the district. So with that said, I added this up since the 16-17 school year, and over that 10 years of sharing, Belvidere has actually received revenue of over $300,000 for doing the shared agreement with Harmony. That money is not paid to me for the service or to anyone else. It's Belvidere's. It's a revenue maker for us to share the services, if that makes sense. And that was not necessarily clear, and that's what Mrs. Robotham was asking. Why are the numbers so different? And I hope that makes sense.
Yeah.
Did.
So it's a shared service, not a shared person.
Yes.
Correct.
So
Yes.
the business services are supplied to Harmony, and 95% of that is done by me, but it's not paid to me for that. And that's why you noticed in the contract renewal that if Belvidere were to ever to revert back to not sharing, then my salary would be the Belvidere portion. I'm adding additional pieces for providing the services to Harmony, but Harmony pays us quite a bit more for doing so, and that money isn't allocated to anything specifically. It's just an additional revenue source to us to balance our budget on. So in total, when you look at my salary and you offset the Harmony piece, I'm probably the lowest paid on Belvidere's finances as far as high school districts go.
Thanks for clearing that
So
up.
the
I didn't realize all that.
The 2.5 increase, that's to Belvedere. So we
The
get,
2.5% increase goes directly to Belvidere.
and just curious, why is that always increased?
In the contract, if it's not negotiated at a different amount by February 1st, it's an automatic 2.5% increase.
Oh, okay, so it just,
Like a cost of living clause.
Right.
COLA.
So it's a 5-year agreement, which is through 2027, so probably in the next agreement, when it comes time to negotiate that, it may or may not change. But that was what it's been for the last 10 years of the agreement.
So the shared service contract between Harmony and Belvidere has benefited Belvidere with revenue generating income
For
for the work that's done.
a large sum.
Yes.
Mhm.
Okay. Thank you.
Any other questions? Oh,
One, with respect to the shared service agreement, the terms require that the Harmony Board provide the evaluation by June 30th. So since we won't have a meeting until after that. Is there any concerns with that date being met for getting, yeah, I'm looking at you, sorry, since you're from Harmony,
Yeah.
that we get that by the end of this month?
Sorry.
I know, we got a lot of contracts in our material this week, but I get, my understanding, Shelley, please correct me if I'm wrong, that as part of the shared service agreement, a copy of the evaluation by the Harmony Board shall be furnished to the Belvidere Board before June 30th of each respective year, so that the board's input can be provided.
For the superintendent. Is that the shared service agreement with the superintendent?
No.
No.
This
Oh.
is the
The
School
BA.
Business Administration
I'm going
Services.
to defer to Shelley on that one.
So it'd basically be the audit.
Yeah, that doesn't.
The audit report is what our review is
Shelley's
on.
not our employee, so we contract for services of the business.
Yeah, Harmony
office.
doesn't do an
Yeah.
evaluation.
I think it's actually when the liaison committee meets and talks about how the agreement's working for both sides, that's the evaluation.
Oh,
Because
the
she's only a
liaison
Belvidere,
piece.
she's only a Belvidere employee, and her services are from that, her work evaluation is only done here.
Got it.
If that makes sense.
Yeah, can we get minutes from those meetings? I mean, we don't really get privy to any of the conversations.
Some meetings are not published and are not minutes, like negotiations, you will not get minutes from a negotiations meeting. Some meetings are not put out like that for legal reasons.
Is this one of them?
I don't know, we'd have to ask that question,
Have to
because I
ask
don't
that
know that we've
question,
ever
yeah.
published that before.
I've never been to one, so I don't.
I know,
It's
like,
there,
for
so.
Kelly Mitchell had updated me on the latest and greatest, and she had shared that for like negotiations, you can give a report out. It just has to be a very high level report out to respect the confidentiality of the discussions that are occurring. But the board should be made aware in executive session what that high level report out is, so when the MOA comes, there's no surprises.
We usually do that, and the next time you say
I
it's
think
going
when
well, this is
liaison
where we're at.
met, one of you two
We
gave
talked-
a report.
We talked about an exec because we talked about the
Yes.
shared service.
You asked some things.
Yes. We did, like that next meeting that we had, we talked about it like back in February we met?
Or March.
February we might have met, and then it was our March meeting maybe.
Because
But,
that committee only meets
Once a year.
once a year, right?
yeah.
No,
Well,
well,
maybe
no, we
twice.
met more than that.
Twice?
Yes, we're supposed to meet quarterly.
Yeah, we
Correct,
did.
per
I think we met
contract.
twice, though. We
Yeah.
met like once
Yeah.
in March or once in February and once a little bit later. or once a
Yeah,
little
because
bit
we have
earlier.
to meet by a certain time in the new year to confirm we're staying in the agreement or not. Yes, and we met right before that deadline
Correct.
this year. And then we talked about it at the next meeting because we were talking about where shared services may or may not go. But if you want, I mean, we can
So
send.
I guess going back, you're saying we need an evaluation.
Yeah, I'm just asking
Yeah.
when we're going to get what's in the agreement.
I mean, we can write something up in regards to that meeting and send it out if everybody wants. But, other than what we talked about in exec, which should have been in the exec minutes.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, but I read that as well, and it specifically says from Harmony.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that probably should come out of the contract because Harmony is not her employer. Belvidere is
But this
is
is like
Shelley's
a checks
employer,
and
which is why
balances.
she's
Yeah,
evaluated by Jess
Yeah.
We
here.
could probably get more guidance from Crew. He's
Yeah.
really the one that
Yeah.
helped put together the contract to clarify, and if
Right.
there's like, and how that should be from a process standpoint moving forward. Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
I mean, I'm reading what you're saying, and Harmony hasn't done one, so there's nothing to share.
Ever.
Yeah, we
Ever.
haven't done an evaluation on
Ever.
Shelley, so, yeah.
But it's not an evaluation, well, I mean, it is technically, but it's
Of
an
the VA
evaluation
services.
Yeah.
of the business services.
evaluation. Right.
Right, it's of the service, not of the
Right.
person.
Right, but of their
the
services, but they just have
service.
not ever done one, so there hasn't been anything to share back to the Belvedere Board, but that's maybe something that Harmonies may want to consider doing.
Well, in the contract. It's in the contract, technically you're supposed to do that.
Yeah.
I see where you're going, Virginia.
written down.
I know.
Any other questions? Okay, so for business items 22 through 38A with tabling 25. I think I got it all right.
Yep.
Yes.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any noes? Any abstentions? Okay. So that brings us on to continuing business. Is there any continuing business?
I think we mentioned the life skills classroom, playground grant, the sale of Third Street. We're just still waiting to go through the process of putting it out for public bid. I think those are the three major ones we always hit upon, but Mary Ann seems to have one more.
Yes, I have one more. The schedule we were supposed to get from Kathy that we put together that none of us were required to write down because she was going to issue one, so we knew what we were doing on what nights and what days. Did we get that yet?
Yeah.
Did,
Yes.
yes.
Yeah. It
Did I
was in
miss it?
one, yeah.
Oh, shit, sorry, it's my fault then.
No, yeah.
From who?
From Kathy Helwa. It was in,
Like right away?
it was
that's
in one
fine,
of her,
okay.
it was in one of the posting
I'll find it.
reviews.
It's
It's
me.
attached to the, I believe, her job posting
And the
review.
job posting
Did that
and-
include the list of everywhere she posted? Because that was one of the things she said, that she was going to provide us with a list everywhere that the job was posted.
She did. So I read that in there.
Yeah, because somebody did ask, and then, because
was-
they
I
didn't
read it
find
in
it
her.
yet, and then
Yeah.
she went back and she said it'll be activated as of the next morning or whatever. So somebody did ask a question.
I saw, I
But I
got
can
that email.
double
I
check.
didn't pay attention to that
Okay.
there was another attachment. Okay,
But
that
I
was,
did have a question as to when we would get some feedback from the community meeting and then also with the school, with the,
She's gonna give
That was
all of
part of the
that.
schedule.
Yeah,
Yes.
she's
Yeah, one
gonna
of
give
the
all of
meetings.
that to us when she gets a pool of people. So whatever that
On the
July.
20
Prior to our
29th.
July
prior
meeting.
to July 16th
She said that would be the
meeting.
first, like, 15,
I
20
didn't go.
minutes of the
Don't we-
meeting.
wasn't it the 29th, June 29th? Isn't that a date?
That's the dates resumes are due.
Oh.
Yes,
Yeah,
July.
But
And
it's
then
all
we
in
would
there.
have it for a couple of days before we.
Okay.
yes. Prior to that meeting, that July meeting.
And we get the pool prior to the meeting, or we get we're getting the applicant or the interests prior to that meeting or on that meeting?
I think she's giving it just at the meeting.
I think at
Yeah.
the meeting
And
too,
she'll
but
be
I'm not
reviewing.
100%.
I think all the feedback comes like the week before for us to discuss in the beginning of the meeting, and then the applicants.
And is she reviewing all applicants, or is she vetting them?
Said all of them.
So, okay.
And we'd be
Yeah.
Yeah.
giving
Like
forward.
the one pager that she had in that pamphlet, said she does that for all of them.
Okay, I wasn't sure if she was based on our requirements, like just coming forward with the ones that she felt meet those requirements, or is
she
she showing
scores them.
all of them?
Yeah,
Okay,
I think
so-
she gives her recommendations, but we get all the feedback.
Thank you.
I can definitely send her a message, though, to just double
All the
check on that.
feedback and all
but
the
I'm-
resumes.
Marianne, June 2nd, that came through.
Pardon me?
June 2nd, it was on that
Section-
email.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I figured I know what
It's an
email it was. I
attachment.
just
Yeah, it was
didn't.
like that.
I saw the
that
one attachment and
Monday
didn't see
or-
the other one,
yeah.
so that's my fault. I take full responsibility for that. I
Okay.
probably read it on my phone.
Any other continuing business?
Yeah, I just have one. I know we talked a little bit about bathrooms and having Andrew come and
Mhm.
talk. I want to make sure we still get on that on the calendar.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the things I did miss from the committee meeting that we did have is we did talk about doing, which was Ms. Tierney's idea, actually, a meet and greet, getting to know the staff outside of the teachers. So our custodial staff, our lunch staff, our field, everybody, so that our students and staff have a better working, like, relationship, and it's more of a community. And hopefully that will help deter desirable behavior. I leave this, I now know. That really would- But it'll overall help just make
Yeah.
it more of a community.
I agree.
Mm-hmm. Any other continuing business? I want to say all the end of the year stuff. I have been hearing lots of great feedback from the kids. They've been excited. Cedar Fest, a bunch of the clubs were selling stuff and raising some money and, doing some good things, dunk tanks I heard, and cookouts and everything. So I heard that was a big hit that has happened and got a lot of buzz prior to. And hopefully, some kids showed up for school and day after the prom because of it. But I did hear a lot of great things with that. The top 10 dinner was excellent. Our kids are great. They were well represented and presented themselves at the dinner. I must say they were great. And the performance last week that was put on all together by our students was fabulous. All the kids were out there, kids singing and dancing and doing solos and stuff was just great to see. I know they want to continue that too. And I hope we finish strong to the end of the year.
Sure. It also looks like we had a really successful Stoke
Oh,
trip.
yes. Stoke trip.
yeah.
Unfortunately, it rained.
Oh, yes.
But it did look like they had a really great time. And
That also, I'm glad you brought that up. Also, the eighth grade
grade,
trip,
yep.
boy, my two kids will be mad at me for not mentioning it, right?
Yep.
They went to Woodlock Resort this year in the Poconos for the first time. I have a personal relationship just with the place because two of my children work there. So, but the reviews were outstanding. Mr. Carabinas was talking about how great it was. All the activities the students were able to do, the food, the accommodations, the staff there is just top notch. And I talked to Mrs. Ekus about it on Tuesday, and she's like, "That's it. That's the place for the foreseeable future." We had one child that had a little bit of a water skiing accident, but actually, Mrs. March said to me, she goes, "I didn't even have a chance to respond." She goes, "They were, boom, right there on the spot, making sure she had the right attention, and it was great." So, so we have the Stokes trip, which unfortunately had a little bit of rain, but the Woodlock trip had great weather, and they had a great time. So I meant to mention that in my notes. So two great traditions.
Hershey, I was just going to say
Oh,
Hershey.
and Hershey was yesterday, right?
Yeah, the seniors had a blast from the ones I've heard from.
Yeah.
A great day. It was rainy here, but it was great in Hershey, apparently. They had a great day.
And Dorney, too. Didn't some kids go to Dorney for that one of the?
Probably for
Physics went to
physics, yeah.
something,
Yeah,
right?
physics,
Physics
yeah.
went to one day, yep. And the seniors had brunch by Project Graduation to start their graduation practice, which I think the kids, I was so happy that I could make it because the kids ate a lot of food. Ate a lot of food. And we were even able to feed some staff that was still hanging around. And we did a little raffle for them, which they seemed like they had a blast with. Project Graduation didn't have a lot of money this year, so we raffled off some items and some gift cards, and the kids were excited and yelling when they won, and it seemed like it was a great day, and it was a good end to their first graduation practice, starting their week off. Any other continuing
Mrs.
business?
So I knew most of those events. What is Cedar Fest? For those of us who might
So
not
see-
have a kid.
So this is the first year we moved the prom back to a Thursday, right? Matt?
No, it was
last year?
last year.
Last year too?
Last-
2 years?
2 years, right?
I forget, I know when we said on a Sunday, but the day after the prom is always a difficult day to get students to be excited about coming to school, to say the least. So some of the staff members put together what they called Cedar Fest, which was just students getting together for some games and for some camaraderie. There was a barbecue that the kids were able to attend, just a sort of fun way to ramp down the year after the prom. And then, the seniors were done with their exams by prom, and the rest of our kids started exams on Monday. So it was just sort of a kind of a day of break, and it was a great day. And then kids and the staff both love it. So.
And
Great stuff.
to add on to Mrs. Duckworth's comments about the drama club production last week, I'm not a very tall person. And so where I was sitting, I could see the feet moving under the curtain and on the side. And it was apparent that was all student-led. I did not see, because I could tell whose shoes were whose, I did not see a set of shoes on that stage.
No adult shoes.
That were not, genuinely, they were all the kids who were also performing. So they were performing, they were manning the curtain. I only saw one person working the board, and it appeared to be a student. And I think we should recognize, one, that there were some amazing talents, but that they took that leadership and their talent and put it together and on their own. And then I understand that two of the students may have suckered mom into running a concession stand to make some money too. So we need visibility to that. And I'm looking at you, Mrs. Wenner, because of the activities. And a great idea would be the drama kids put together the program. It'd be great if they do it next year, and the art kids put together the program.
I think we should get like a list of all of these promotable,
Yes.
you know,
Yes.
things going on monthly maybe, and then we can put some promotional materials and really kind of blast them out.
Yeah.
Put them on our website.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, we got a
The
lot
website's been
to do
better.
on that website.
Website's been
The
better.
website, social media, you know, all calls, emails, you know, just really kind of put it front and center.
I think it's always a great way to end the year. You know, for me, I always look at it at now with a very different perspective on the end of the year. Our kids shine all year long, but for some reason, those last 2 weeks or 3 weeks, we really get to see what our kids shine at in so many different levels. And I love the top 10 dinner because I think it's a great tradition. When I talked to the other superintendents last week about how they had let it go, it bothered me. I always like how our kids interacted with the rest of the county. But there's just so many great events, and I think, you know, it takes time, and we go in so many different directions, but to just be able to connect with those kids on a different level, seeing the kids at the prom is just a different level for those kids. They're just so, see most of them dressed up, and how excited they are to take pictures with a background, and it's just, I think in a lot of times, well, we get to the end of the year, everybody's excited, yay, but it's a good time to just really look at who our kids are and what they do and what we're capable of as a district.
The tradition of pre-prom pictures in the park it's a community event. I mean, I look forward to every year. And I didn't go to Belvidere, and I don't have a child that went through Belvidere, but I take a lot of pictures and get mad when I miss a couple. I mean,
It's beautiful.
it is. And while it's not a school-sanctioned activity, that is such,
Tradition.
it's part of our tradition, it's part of our culture, and you know,
Yep.
we
Make
should
this little
encourage
town
it.
and school great.
Yeah.
Did
5 years ago,
elementary
right?
school have their field day yet?
Yes, they had their field days. Yesterday was a little rainy, but we still.
Or they do it yesterday?
still figured it out.
And today.
Oh,
Yeah,
and
they
today?
did.
Yeah.
too, yeah.
Oh, you missed
I was just thinking yesterday because I
Yeah.
was like watching the you know, kids still love it. Doesn't matter if it's rain or shine.
Oh, great, great. And Dr. Lamonte came to our top
And
10
Dr.
dinner
Lamonte
too.
did come, yeah.
She
And Rose,
was-
and I saw her on Friday at a county meeting. She complimented on how great of a program it is, and she said, I mean, I've worked with Dr. Lamonte for over close to 20 years, and she said it's great that you guys continue that tradition. So.
Any other continuing business? New business?
I got something for new business. We've talked about it amongst several of us, and I think we talked about it with Kelly and maybe even with John. Our public participation is 5 minutes max per person and 30 minutes total, which if everybody used their 5 minutes, only allows 6 speakers. The suggestion was made that we reduce it to 3 minutes per person, which would allow us to have 10 speakers in that half an hour time frame. So I was going to throw that out to policy, because it is a policy, if they want to look at it and maybe discuss it and possibly come back to the rest of us with a recommendation.
Yeah.
We can
throw
look
on
at it.
over.
I think we could.
Yeah.
We'll put that on the next agenda for sure.
Great idea.
I just wanted to mention also the Warren County School Board Association Board of Director group is meeting at the end of June, and they're discussing some of the topics for next year. So if anybody has something that interests them and they like it presented in the fall or at the winter meetings, please let me know, and I can take that back.
When do they meet?
At the end of June.
Any other new business? No? All right, so we are on to our second public participation. For now, it's 5 minutes with a total of 30. Do we have any participants? Got it.
Hi, Vicky Davenport once again. So today I found out that three different CST members, my son's rights have been trampled on for 5 years. his entire education. Signing things I thought was one thing and being another. For 5 years, you have not given an autistic kid a fair education. For the last year, my son has been told he's dirty, stinky, gross for a medical problem caused by the school's neglect, and he's being told this by teachers. And it's a medical problem that was caused by the school. We need to fix the trust that's been broken. I've been asking for the special education parents advisory group. Why hasn't it been made available to the parents yet? If you guys have put it together, why can't we send home a note in all of the kids' backpacks?
Yeah, we haven't put, I know I'm supposed to comment, we haven't put it completely together yet. We're looking to get it together for July.
Okay,
And the big piece was making sure we had the right child study team supervisor in place.
all right. I'd really like things to start going in the right direction. I know there's grants out there that you could and should be applying for to beef up our special needs school, or the special needs classes. It's kind of embarrassing to receive special needs children from other districts when our own district isn't up to date. Our special needs teachers need more training. Our OT doesn't have a trampoline. As of a meeting I had on May 1st, her trampoline is broken. The aides, subs, and teachers need more training, and they also need to know what kids they have in their classroom. Like when a sub gets called in, they need to be aware there's an IEP kid, and to at least skim over the document before they walk into the classroom. Thank you.
Hey, I'm Morris Scott. I live in Belvidere. My nephew, Travis Dalrymple, wrote this book. It is currently the bestseller on the Amazon business section, and in order to help him be a bestseller, I bought a copy for all of you. It's titled How to Suck as a Leader. And it's actually a serious book. It's not
So this is like an Oprah thing? You get a book, and you get a book, and you get a book.
You get a book. You get a book. I already have them. You get a book. You get a book. You get a book. And Travis is a graduate of Belvidere High School, and he's also a graduate of Harmony Elementary School. Thank you.
Very nice.
So, there you go. That's all I got.
Next.
So a local boy writes a bestseller.
I'm Joseph Rosano, and I'm speaking on the request for the Belvidere High School Gym for the Belvidere Competition League. I just wanted to come out and speak about what it is before you guys decide and say, what the heck is that? There's 39 of us, and they're all alumni here. We've been doing it for 3 years now. The basketball league is the biggest thing that we do. We all have so much fun doing it. The parents come out and watch us play, and they bring back the nostalgia. That's what they told us. I wish Brendan Anderson was here. He's like my second half. He helps me run it. And they've told him too that we love it, and it's like a flash in the past. I was the class of 2020, and I was the varsity high school captain, and we went 2-22, and COVID hit, and that was it. And here I am. I'm like, how can I associate myself with Belvidere ever again? And here I am. Here I am trying to get the high school gym to play on that court again because it would be meaningful again to play in that court. And I know all these people would want to play again. They've all wore the Belvidere jersey. And we just want to have fun. And however we can do it. We had the guys sign a waiver this year. We have 2 that were 17, had their parents sign. So, we've been bringing connections. We've connected with so many people, and people I thought I'd never seen again. We have people who come out from LA who've graduated, come back in Thanksgiving time when we have our events and play with us, and it's just so much fun. But we just want to continue to keep doing it, and it would just be the full circle to play in that gym again. So that's it.
Awesome. Thank you. Any other public participation? Oh, no falling down.
Good roll you up in the chair, Joe.
Yes, I should have rolled over the chair. Joe Roth, second liaison for the town council. And I didn't come here with something to say, and then I heard what was going on, and I thought I needed to. This is pretty exciting, all of the things that I've heard that are going on in the school. And it's great stuff. And there's a lot of, it's like myself, that don't have kids involved in the school, but the school still affects our lives so much every day. And not only from the value of our homes, but just from the value of the communities. And back several months ago, when I was the primary liaison, you were having some discussions about creating an outreach committee or communications committee. Latch back onto that idea for next year, because what was the old saying? You got to get your candle out from under the basket. There's so many good things going on, and I think the public needs to know more about that, and it'd behoove you to do that. So I just advise, bring that concept back and do it next year, and any way the town can help, please give me a call. Thank you.
Joe?
Thank you.
I'm going to stand up.
Hi, Katie Galene again. I too have some concerns about the Title IX coordinator and violence and vandalism coordinator being Mr. Karabinas. Coming from somebody who's personally experienced him ignore us as a parent for situations involving our children and being victims of things happening in the school, I find it very concerning that he is going to be the head of all of that. I don't think that he's going to be very good at that. And I don't understand why we have like 3 names, 2 names mainly, for every single one of these. There's so many positions. Are there no other options, or are there no other people? Are these the only people? I think that's kind of strange and not what's in our best interest. I also, I see on here with the appointments, so you're going to appoint the persons for this year, for the 2024-2025 school year. One of them is the Integrated Pest Management Coordinator that I asked about. It says that we should have had one of those already. Is this like saying that we don't have one and that we are just now looking for one or appointing one? I'm a little bit confused on that. I don't know if you guys can shed some light on that or not right now, but again, I'm seeing like the same names over and over and over, so I don't know whether it's a lack of people that, want jobs, or whether it's just the same people available. I don't really know, but that's a concern, and that's all.
I'll shed some light on that, just so you know, for Integrated Pest Management Coordinator, that is a position we renew every year.
Okay.
Okay. The second thing is that most of these positions that are on here require an administrative certificate to do it. That's why it's split up basically amongst those that have it.
Any other public participation for this evening?
Explain what Title IX is exactly. 'Cause I think it's sports related.
I have something. My name is Louis Turner. I just wanted to give my 2 cents on the BCL. If there was anything specific that you guys would need from us, because obviously we don't have an insurance policy if something were to happen. Like, I know the town does like some co-sponsorship events. If you guys were willing to be liable for that event, we would really appreciate that, because we are all from this county. We all graduated from Belvidere. And yeah, that's basically it.
Yeah, we're working through that. We'll have all that squared away.
Okay, thank you.
Any other public participation? No? I think you were going to answer something.
Yeah, Ms. Wenner just asked real quick on Title IX. Coordinator, Title IX does, basically covers all sexual harassment in the workplace, anything that happens. So if there was whether it was for the most part for staff, if there was an issue and they had concerns, they would report it to Mr. Karabinas.
Okay. So can I have a motion to adjourn tonight's meeting?
Motion.
Motion, adjourn.
All in favor? Aye. Oh.
Hi.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any noes? Any abstentions? Okay. Thank you all.
Mary Ann, he said motion.
Mary Ann.